On discussing my reading and lecturing videos for this week, I'm going to be talking about the scientific revolution, enlightenment, and age of revolutions, reading of this week. And I'm also going to be talking just a little bit about the American Revolution. The scientific revolution, enlightenment, and age of revolutions reading of this week actually transformed my way of thinking in relation to this entire epoch. The most interesting thing is that everything was linked. I had imagined the scientific revolution as scientists in laboratories and the Enlightenment as philosophers and theorists writing the big books, but the readings helped me to see the extent to which those scientific habits of questioning, observing, testing were exported into politics, religion, and society. It enabled the Enlightenment to be less of an age of ideas and make it look more like a transformation of the way people thought about all things. My understanding of a few assumptions was also challenging the readings. I had always conceptualized the Enlightenment as this collective impetus to advancement, yet it was very contradictory. There are those who believe in equality and those that did not. There were those revolutions that advocated the Enlightenment and those that distorted it. When the American, French, and Haitian revolutions were shown in the same light, it was easy to see the disparity which those so-called universal rights were put into practice. Simultaneously, the readings confirmed the large themes that I previously was familiar with, namely natural rights, popular sovereignty, and the notion that reason could help make society better than it was previously, but with a more nuanced approach than I anticipated. I wonder why I'm yet to learn how common people went through these changes and how the ideals of enlightenment managed to spread beyond Europe. That section is almost worthy of more attention. Speaking on the American Revolution, just the basics, the American Revolution, it was a struggle to be free. One of the most notable events in the United States history was the American Revolution. It was the war that 13 colonies struggled to get free from Great Britain and become a sovereign state. The revolution lasted between 1775 and 1783 and had great impact on the future of America. It was not merely a war waged by arms, but also a struggle for freedom, human rights, and the sentiment that people needed to have a say in their government. The revolution brought about the United States and made other countries seek freedom and democratic governance. What caused revolution? The American Revolution did not occur overnight. Britain ruled the colonies over a number of years, albeit giving them some autonomy over local affairs. This started to change with the termination of French and Indian War in 1763. During the war, Britain had incurred a lot of expenditure, which had left Britain in big debt. The British government imposed additional taxes on the colonies to salvage themselves. The Stamp Act of 1765 was one of the first significant taxes. This was a law which obliged the colonies to purchase stamps to printed materials like newspapers, legal papers, and even playing cards. Colonists were enraged that they felt that Parliament had no authority to tax them without representing them. This anger was the origin of the famous saying, "No taxation without representation." Other taxes were immediately introduced, such as the Townshend Acts, to which a duty was imposed on products such as tea, paper, glass, and paint. Most colonies reacted by striking and boycotting the British products. Things were further aggravated when Britain deployed troops to enforce these laws. In 1770, the situation led to a Boston massacre where British soldiers shot into a crowd, killing some colonists. This matter became more heated in 1773 at the Boston Tea Party. Colonists were also angry over the Tea Act that gave the British a company control over the sale of tea. So that's just a little bit on the reading and the lectures that we had for this week. Thank you.